Well, good morning, everyone. You remind me of one of my classes that I've had, because there was a buzz when I would walk into the classroom before I'd say anything. And I always knew it was going to be a great class when I had that buzz. So this is going to be a great town hall on student success. And it's appropriate that we're talking about student success because there is no pillar that has greater importance than student success. And you know, this whole town hall reality is born of our desire to remind you and to demonstrate to you that the strategic plan still matters. I have been around for a long time, and I've been around for a number of strategic plans. And what happens if you don't hear about them, you wonder if they matter anymore. And so the town hall gives you an opportunity to hear that behind the scenes, when you're going about your business, that you have administrators thinking about, talking about, planning around the very pillars that we have been talking about, or we talked about in the strategic plan 2 years ago. It's been 2 years now that we actually launched this strategic plan. But it's still very much alive, and we're excited to be able to share some important aspects of our development around 150 forward. So I'm going to ask Jeremy Batches to come forward because he will get us started. Jeremy is our Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs, and he's doing a wonderful job working in student affairs. I've told Jeremy many times he's much better at being Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs than I ever was. And so I'm happy to bring Jeremy forward. Oh, Jeremy, you going to stay back there? Okay, well, run of show. And Jeremy will now take it from here. Thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you, Chancellor. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. It's truly a great opportunity to share and update to everyone in the room what's been happening. As the Chancellor said, if we don't take time to celebrate and update along the way, then that plan, we risk it just sitting on the shelf. So just a couple things to start with today that are maybe obvious, but I think is important to share to help frame some of today. Student success is not the job of the panelists up here. It's all of our jobs on campus to do that. We just happen to be the ones that get to share a lot of the highlights that are happening today, but we rely heavily on so many of you in this room and across the campus to do that. Whether it's through our facilities, the management, building and upkeep of those, the research opportunities, teaching, advising, coaching, mentoring, opportunities for belonging to success, these are all really, really important to a student's journey. Secondly, we heard a lot about a journey with employer of choice last week, and I really thought that analogy parallels what we're doing with a student. When we think about a student's journey, it's not from the time they step forward on campus for move-in. It's not orientation. It likely dates back to maybe they're here for a campus visit. I had the opportunity to visit Dr. McCray in her office yesterday, and the number of students down in the lobby, potential students down in the lobby, those are those first impressions for our future students, and how we create those moments moving forward are matter so that we can choose that experience to come here in the future. So all of us play an incredible role in that student's journey from thinking about the University of Arkansas to walking across that stage. This group is just thrilled to be able to be here and intentionally show how we are supporting undergraduate and graduate students in their journey to graduation. And we've got several updates from several different areas of our campus. And Dr. McCray, if you don't mind kicking us off.
Okay, Dr. Badges, thank you so much for that. I am delighted to be here, excited to share some great data from Enrollment Services and tell you about some of the things that we do to help support student success every step of the way, from kindergarten through graduation and beyond it. First, I wouldn't be an enrollment manager if I didn't want to say something about where we're going to be this fall and the numbers that we have this fall. We've had over 32,000 applications for admissions for the fall of 2025. This is a record number, and that's really exciting. And you may ask yourself, why is that exciting? Applications do not make an enrollment number, but actually they do. And the more students that we have apply, the more selective we can be, and in that way, we very much contribute to student success. We're bringing here students who will come, who are prepared and ready to succeed. Now for the fall, we're going to have a class of about 7,000 students. Last year we had 6,600 plus. This year we'll have a little more than 7,000. The chancellor's goal for us was 6,900 because he wanted to make sure we hit 6,800 or above. And it looks like we're going to be very comfortable doing that. We've had an overall yield rate this year of about 29%. Since COVID, yield has fluctuated every year. And so projecting has been a little bit tricky at times, but it seems to be stabilizing. We've had 45% Arkansan yield rate. That's been pretty steady. The thing that's bouncing around a little bit is the out-of-state yield rate. One of the reasons for that is the common application. They can apply to lots of institutions when they apply through the Common App. And so our Common App yield rate is a little bit lower than our Slate application. But regardless, the more applications, the more selective that we can be. Now, sometimes it seems like that we are just interested in degree-seeking new freshmen, and that is not the case. We have a lot of interest in transfer students. We want to bring students who want to come to the University of Arkansas in any way that we can from whatever place they happen to be. So we hope to have 1,400 to 1,600 transfer students on our campus, new transfer this fall, and we're excited about that. And when we do all of these things, combined with what you're going to hear from the graduate school, we will hit an enrollment approximately 35,000 students this fall. 5,000 of those will be online and 30,000 will be on campus, and that is just about what our university is set and ready to embrace. So what do we hope for the future from an enrollment point of view? We want to go over 40,000 applications. That will continue to allow us to increase selectivity out of state so that the Student Success Center, which you're going to hear about in just a minute, they can really focus on Arkansas students who need that additional support. So we're hoping for over 40,000. We hope that we will move the high school GPA up as high as a 3.85 or 3.86 in the years coming forward. We also want to increase our market share out of Arkansas. Right now, our market share is about 27%. And you can see that the school closest to us, the institution in the state closest to us, is UCA, followed by Arkansas Tech. We are always mindful of recruitment in the state, and we want to make sure that any Arkansan who wants to come to the University of Arkansas finds that pathway, that we assist them in finding that pathway to our campus. We also want to grow out-of-state applications, as I mentioned, so we've added a new recruiter in Atlanta. We want to enlarge our market in Georgia. That's another SEC state with the University of Georgia, and we want to expand there. We also want to add another recruiter in Houston, not because we're looking to expand in Texas, but because there's been such a demand in Houston, we just need to get support for the very great recruiter that we have already in Houston. We also want to support students with scholarship. We know that student success begins with preparation and funding. Students have to be able to afford to come to the University of Arkansas. And so we have a variety of ways to approach making it affordable. One, of course, is through scholarships, and scholarships are absolutely key. And one of the things we like to say whenever we visit high schools, whenever we go around the state, is that the only way you'll be sure that you don't get a scholarship from the University of Arkansas is if you don't apply. 98% of the students from Arkansas who applied for a scholarship received one. And some of the 2% that did not were because those students got admitted on appeal. So they may not have had the academic preparation to receive the scholarship funding. So 98%, if you apply for a scholarship, the chances are very good that if you're from Arkansas, you'll receive one. Also, we have great interest in transfer students. We have the academic transfer achievement scholarship for Arkansans who go to a sister school. So in any U of A community college, a student who gets an associate's degree there can come to the University of Arkansas on the tuition of that community college. And you can see from the slide that we've already given away $4.3 million in scholarship funding to these students. So we love transfer students. We want to enable students who come to us in a different way, a different pathway, that they have the support they need to succeed on our campus. We've also increased the Chancellor Scholarships to $10,000 a year, and the Honors College offered for the first time the Natural State Fellowships for students who are low income. These students still have to have the same qualifications as a normal fellowship student, the 32 ACT, 3.9 or better high school GPA, but if they're low income, this is just one more opportunity for those students to get a fellowship that will help support them every step of the way. And then you've all heard the announcement about the Land of Opportunity scholarships. We're super excited about that. When the $200 million is fully in place and all of our funding is ready to be given to students, we'll have as many as 400 new freshmen who are Pell Grant students here on our campus who have the support of tuition and room available to them as they move forward. And that's really exciting. That kind of support will make a huge difference. In the fall of '26, we will have 100 students, and that will increase every year until we're at the full cohort of 400 students in every freshman class. Student excellence is extremely important to us. We need to increase the semester-to-semester retention. We've already made it to 95% that you see here. We're now looking at how high can we hit. Can we be 97%, 98%? We know that students supported by various programs on our campus that have that intentional support, financial support, they're up to 97% retention rate. We want to see all students do that. We want to increase the year-to-year retention rate to 90%, up from 86%, and increase graduation rates to 80%. We're at 70% currently, and 80% is just a huge jump, but we feel with the right things in place, programs in place, support in place, that it is achievable. We want to advise students from high school and even before it, all the way through postgraduate success. We do that every step of the way. In enrollment services, like student success, like the graduate school, like student affairs, we have a lot of things embedded that encourage students to succeed from the beginning. Now, prospective students first hit our campus when they visit campus, and we have thousands of students who visit. We have over 50,000 parents and families who visit our campus every year, and they get that excitement. When they come to orientation, now we want them to feel that excitement, but we also want them to learn and pick up things that will help them succeed all 4 years while they are here, 4 or 5 if they're in architecture. So orientation is very carefully planned to help them connect with their departments and really learn how to succeed on a college campus. To do that, we also pre-register them in classes before they get here, so they're bonded with us even before they arrive on campus for orientation. Now, orientation is a kind of end of the story for the recruitment process. Where it begins is in K through 5. We have a lot of programs that we support, that we use to bring students to our campus. One of them is the STARS program. The STARS program helps us recruit small town and rural students across the state. We were given $200,000 a year for 2 years. We joined the distinguished colleges you can see listed here. We joined this group, each of us receiving funding from the Trott Family Trust. $200,000 a year for 2 years. That's now been renewed for 3 additional years, so $1 million in support for rural students. We're hoping to get an additional 3 years after that. And we're using this money in a variety of ways. One, the Arkansas Reads program is terrific. It's the K through 5 that I mentioned earlier, outreach. We are really interested in literacy across the state. The Arkansas Reads program has been in place for many years. The chancellor goes with us on these trips where we take For example, we went into Mountain View. You can see the t-shirts here that says UA loves Mountain View. We just took them 8,000 books, including buying them books that they requested. And so we have a lot of partners on our campus who have helped us buy these books and provided funding with us. And so it's a really exciting program. The kids love to hear the chancellor read to them. They love to have their picture taken with the Razorbug. But what we really want them to take away is that reading is fun, asking great questions is important, and engaging intellectually is what they want to do from the beginning through high school, and then as they transition to college, wherever that may be. So we do enrollment services as part of this program, the K through 5, and then toward the end of high school and high school, of course, we visit every high school. Our recruiters visit every high school in the state. We embed messages in their presentations that talk about graduate success, getting involved in student success. We also send students who have conducted research on our campus, and we have a student here pictured, Jonathan Ivey, who is a computer science student, computer science engineering student from Greenwood, Arkansas. And he is back in his high school in Greenwood, Arkansas, talking to them about his research, and that's really exciting. He's now going on to graduate school in computer science at Johns Hopkins. And this is a very win-win situation. We covertly recruit students, we encourage them to engage when they get to a campus, and we help the student who's presenting build a resume that will help them successfully get into the graduate schools they apply to. We also love transfer students, as I mentioned before. We have a whole unit dedicated to transfer students, Transfer Central. And that team not only recruits across the state and beyond it, they also do advising through the Northwest Arkansas Community College TAP program, transfer program. Students who may not quite be ready for the University of Arkansas start in NWAC, are advised by our Transfer Central, and they take a class on our campus, and after a year or two, they're ready to be full-time students on the University of Arkansas campus, and it's a highly successful program. GPA for our incoming class has steadily increased. As you can see, from a 3.6 now to a 3.82. We think in the fall it'll be a 3.83. Our goal is to get it up even higher. Because as you track student preparedness, you're also going to track graduation rates. And we are at an amazing 71% graduation rate, and that's exciting. But our goal now is 80%. That's quite a challenging goal, but we think we are up to the task given all the things that we have in place to make it happen. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Deb Korth now.
Thank you. So there's a lot to say about supporting undergraduate students and promoting academic excellence on our campus. I'm going to highlight a few things and give you places to take a look at other things. So you can learn more. You know, as I was listening to Suzanne talk here, I was thinking, you know, we need to have a half-day event for this to really talk about and explore all of the things that we're doing on campus to support students before they come to campus and while they're here. So I'm going to start with some updates from the CORD. So the Cordia Harrington Center for Excellence opened in January of 2022. Since opening, we've seen a 56% increase in student traffic from our first open year to last year. We've seen a 35% increase in student traffic of students using the Class Plus services. So I think that's kind of the first thing you think about when you think about student success are those services, the tutoring, the study halls, the welcome desk, the writing studio, those services that are there. Also, when you walk into the CORD, I mean, the first thing you notice is our welcome desk, and is that group of students. We have this kind of student helping student model there. So we have 250 students who are probably more than that, who work in the Cord right now. Now, they're supported by a whole bunch of very devoted staff members who work with them. And I do have a message for the students that are listening or that are in the audience. If you have a question that you don't know where to go, you don't know who to ask, go to the Cord and ask those really nice people, those nice students that are sitting at that welcome desk. They might not know the answer to your question, but they're connected to somebody who can help you start figuring out where the answer can be found. So, all right. There are many facets to the Cord, so if you don't see your program listed on this slide yet, wait, there's 3 or 4 more coming of things that are happening in the Cord. I mean, I think it's important that we have academic advising at the Cord, career education, the Career Connections Office are there. And it's important that the Teaching Faculty and Support Center, and the Teaching Academy both call the Cord their home base. They meet there, they talk there, and they work with the folks who work there full time. We have a Student Success Steering Committee that meets every other week in the Cord. The committee has representatives from all of the colleges and student affairs, Global Campus, the Honors College, a few other places I know I'm forgetting. But we've been talking about this kind of hub and spoke model of support where the Cord kind of sits at the hub and the colleges, student affairs, the treasurer's office, financial aid are all different spokes where we help students to navigate their way around campus because it can be really confusing for students. And we want to have a place for them to start. And then, you know, we're not just sitting around waiting for the students to come get help. We do a lot of proactive work. We have the Strategic Outreach, Advocacy, and Retention team. And there's some of the different programs that they are involved with. Suzanne mentioned the ASAP program, the 360 program. They're doing some very interesting things to support students, like first-generation college students and their unique challenges and questions. We have the financial empowerment team, the major explorations team. These teams that are out, reaching out to students. We're working in collaboration with the colleges to have outreach campaigns. Like for instance, reaching out to students who maybe their early progress grades weren't the highest and help them figure out what can they do next to finish strong. And speaking of early progress grades, I want to take a minute to thank all of the faculty who submitted their early progress grades. We do really take a look at that. And we also take a look at all of the notes that faculty and staff write into Starfish, which is also called UA Success on our campus, so that we can figure out ways to support students in a more strategic and unified fashion. There should be a shout out, actually, to all of the staff on campus who have important, critical conversations with students. I want to make sure that you all understand and don't underestimate the value those conversations are. And we thank you from the Cord and from all over campus for that work that you are doing. Okay, so the newest team on the student success in the Cord is the Learning Innovations and Assessment team, the LEA team. We're in the process of searching for a new assistant director for this team to support the campus community in creating a student-centered learning environment in which innovative and effective teaching techniques are valued and employed. You see the list of different things that we're working on there. It's in creating this inviting learning environment that is going to help improve student success on our campus, helping them navigate the classroom to be successful learners. One way that we're doing this is that we have joined the national conversation about and drive to become certified in effective teaching. ACU stands for the Association of College and University Educators, and this is a program that is adopted by the American Council of Education, and our faculty started working on receiving their credentials in effective college teaching in January of 2022. So we already have 57 faculty who are fully credentialed. Those are just the faculty that I know of, because there are some faculty that do this work on their own or at their previous institutions. So we'll continue to work on that project. I mean, it takes them 1.5 to 2 years or more to complete that certification program. New in July, we will be launching the Effective 101 program for our brand new faculty who are coming to the campus for the first time, to give them some tools to help them create a more effective learning environment. And then our UA faculty will be invited to join the national community in AQ Commons. Now, I've also heard from staff members who want to join with in some of the AQ lessons and activities, and so we're going to explore ways that we can widen the community to include staff members in those conversations. And one way of which we're going to do that is we have the BOM Teaching Workshop. Those of you who are faculty probably recognize the BOM Teaching Workshop. It's on the Thursday of a week, the week before school starts in the fall. And this is put on by the Teaching Academy. And this year we have invited, the members of the Academy have invited other members of other educators in student affairs and student success across campus to have conversations and exploring the high impact practices to help forward student success. So join us at the BOM on August 14th to talk a lot more about these things that we're doing. So one of the things that, the projects that we're working on, we call the Dream Teams. And the name The Dream Team comes from Cordia herself, Cordia Harrington. So CORD, she said, the abbreviation, the CORD stands for Creating Opportunities and Reaching Dreams. So if we're going to put together a group of people to work on supporting students in historically difficult courses, let's call them the Dream Team. So each Dream Team is led by a faculty member who serves as the course coordinator for this really difficult course. We have them in chemistry and biology and calculus, and we've been exploring this in world languages too. Those courses are hard for students. And we're trying to create an environment to help students be more successful with these teams. We meet weekly with a group of people. We have success coaches, we have people from the Class Plus team, other folks from Students Success, we have people from the college student success teams from engineering and Fulbright College who are supporting this faculty member and their students in creating these better learning environments. So for instance, we start meeting right away at the beginning of the semester, and we get a list of all the students who, missed the first week of class. Can you believe that? You do that? Miss the first week of class. So the coaches would reach out to the students and find out, well, why did you miss the first week of class? What barriers do we have? And we have found some interesting barriers, just simply of, I got confused on when the first day was, to I couldn't find a place to park, to I don't know where that room was. So we could support the students that way. And then as the semester goes on, we support students who didn't do well on a test or didn't know how to turn in their homework. So it's a strategic opportunity for us to help students. The the University Chemistry One Dream Team, they did an innovative thing with their test retest project. Ask me more about that, or actually come to the Baum Teaching Workshop and hear Matt Gerner talk about his story on his own. But they reached an all-time high success rate in their class of 81%. You know, we look back 30 years, we had not seen an 81% success rate in Chem 1 over that time. That is, nationally, that class has a really low success rate. So we call that a big win. That means that students that were in that class, you know, now get to realize their dreams, right? Maybe look into going to medical school and the next steps of things that they want to do. So, of course, if you know me, you know I have to have a slide with the 12 high-impact practices. You can check out the high-impact practices at hips.uark.edu. Remember, these are the things that you can, the practices on campus that forward student success. We have every single one of these on our campus. Go look for them, and that's where you'll find some academic excellence. Thank you.
Thank you, Deb. I'm excited to be here today to talk to you about the things that we have going on in the graduate school to help support our graduate students. So the mission of the graduate school is to create an environment for our graduate students that enables them to adapt to the change and the step forward from undergraduate to graduate. And we want to engage with professional development opportunities that advance both academic and career goals. And we want to ensure that they have the social, financial, and academic resources that they need to succeed. We do that in a variety of ways. First, I'll show you the number of students who are enrolled in degree-seeking programs in the graduate school. You can see we had a drop in 2022, and we've started to increase our enrollments in graduate degrees. I will tell you the slope at which we're increasing is nowhere near the slope at which the undergraduates have increased. And so we're a little bit out of sync with where other universities are with the ratio of graduate students to undergraduate students. So one of the things we are doing right now is we're in the process of developing a graduate enrollment management plan to look at how we can continue to grow graduate enrollment, maybe at a little bit faster than we have currently been growing. This is a chart that shows you the number of degrees. We've continued to increase the number of graduate degrees that we have awarded. And this is a jewel of the graduate school, are our distinguished doctoral fellows and doctoral academy fellows. This is an enormous benefit to bringing in highly accomplished students for graduate education. Since the fellowship's inception in 2002, we've awarded over 820 doctoral fellows. We currently have 259 enrolled in various stages of their academic pursuits. We have 83 distinguished doctoral fellows and 176 doctoral academy fellows. These fellowships stack on top of their graduate assistantships, and it really makes us extremely competitive with other universities across the landscape. As my role of Dean of the Graduate School, I get to sit in on program reviews, and almost every program review, they talk about how fortunate we are to have the DDFs and DAFs, and how many schools around the country wish they had these types of fellowships. So this has enabled us to bring in high caliber students to support our research endeavors here on campus. International students make up a significant component. You can see the trend has been slightly increasing our international graduate enrollment there. We have over 800 graduate students from various countries. Our top countries are India, Bangladesh, and Nigeria. And this has been consistent for the last couple years. We've started to see some countries reduce the number of students here, mainly in China and Iran. So I'm going to walk you through the path that our graduate students take and the things we do in the graduate school to help them adapt to the campus. So it all begins with graduate orientation. It's a day-long event where we bring the graduate students together and make them aware of the resources that are available to them in the graduate school as well as across campus. And we partner with Jeremy's group in Student Affairs on this event so that we make them aware of not just the resources in the graduate school, but the resources that are available in Student Affairs. We also have a program called the Graduate Teaching Enhancement Project, or GSTEP. This program is designed to help our students who move into those roles as graduate teaching assistants or, and in the future, teachers of some of our classes. And the program's designed to help them transition into that role. It builds competencies in pedagogy, course design, education technology, classroom management, and provides them with some teaching best practices. Another program that we have, which is targeting first-generation students, is the RISE program, the Razor Grad Institute for Success and Engagement. This program is a year-long program. It was made possible through a gift from the Hearst Foundation. And this program, we've been running it for the last 3 years with about 20 to 25 students. It offers social events, mentoring, and professional development opportunities. We've had certification opportunities for students, as well as attending local community employers and regional employers so that students can begin to get an understanding of what the opportunities are out there for them. And we have students from all degrees participate in the RISE program. Another opportunity that we have and sponsor is the 3-minute thesis. Last year we had 50 students. This year we had 47 students, and it's really an exciting opportunity for students to engage and explain what they're doing in their research. Students have 3 minutes to talk about their research project in one slide. And this is, if you haven't been, I encourage you to come when we have the finale where we bring in the top 10 students. The things our students are doing are incredible. Their ability to explain it in 3 minutes is even more incredible. They do such a wonderful job. This is a picture of the student that won this year, and he did an outstanding job when he competed in the Southern Regional competition. He didn't make it out of his heat, but the student that made it out of his heat won the competition, so we felt good. I thought he did really well. And again, the purpose behind this is to get our students to be able to talk about and communicate what they're doing as researchers. That becomes more important as they begin to go out and look for opportunities for jobs in the marketplace. The graduate school, we have one person who's our graduate student success person. We're in the process of trying to hire that person right now. The previous person left us in February. But part of that person's role is to have graduate hour, where each week they have an hour allocated where they run a variety of programming that is designed to engage our graduate students and give them opportunities to be heard. They hold workshops throughout the year on critical and relevant professional development topics, including things like, how do you write your resume? What's the difference between a resume and a curriculum vitae? How do you publish? Student advocacy opportunities. Where can you find additional graduate student funding? And a variety of topics as they arise. And last, one of the things that we're really starting to push is trying to make our students better prepared for graduation and success as they move into industry. About 70% of our students don't go into academia. We do a great job at preparing our students for academia. The faculty do an outstanding job of really trying to get those students to understand how to move and compete for those positions. But they don't really do a good job, partly because that's not who they are, in getting them ready for industry. So we really know that's a place where we have an opportunity to help our students. We're going to partner with the folks in Student Affairs. But one thing we did invest in this last year is a platform called Beyond. And this platform is a career development platform that students can engage in online 24/7, so they don't have to go and come to a meeting. And it's designed with on-demand lessons, workbooks, live webinars, specifically designed for graduate students, master's students, and PhD students. There's programming for students who want to go in academia, and there's programming for students who want to go into industry. And so that's one of the things we're going to work with our students on in the coming year to help better engage them and better prepare them as they graduate and move out into the job market.
Thank you, Dean Pohl. Incredible progress across all fronts. How many of you learned something new this morning already? Oh, that's awesome. That's outstanding. And so great to have the opportunity to be here and make sure that we are sharing all this new information. As they work heavily in the classroom and really alongside the classroom, our job in student affairs is to continue to wrap that student up in all sorts of other support and advocacy and opportunities to belong. We do that through two main priorities: access, well-being, and belonging, and post-graduation success. Throughout those avenues, we offer a move-in experience. By the way, mark your calendars, August 6th through the 8th. I think I got those dates right, pretty close. There will be new opportunities for our campus, the whole campus, to engage in this opportunity to welcome students. The chancellor helped me the other week when he said, this is the campus job to do move-in, not just student affairs. So watch your emails for those opportunities coming forward. But A-Week, Welcome Weeks, RSOs, Hillfest, the Center for Educational Access, our retention outreach programs. We have continued new programs for commuter students, first-generation students, our veteran and military-affiliated students, a focus on transfer students, renewed emphasis on looking on second, third, and fourth-year students. We've done really well historically taking care of those first-year students, and we want to take that a step further and really think about the second, third, and fourth-year student as well, and graduate students. We want to find services that continue to enable students to be successful within the classroom. This includes increased housing solutions, well-being opportunities, access to mental health care, access to our UA Care support team, which we also hear a lot. Do those things apply to grad students? Yes, please send your grad students to us as well. We serve those students as well. We want to make sure folks know that. How do we increase financial opportunities for students through student affairs? Where are we doing with campus employment? How do we embed that into our everyday career readiness and preparing students for post-graduation success? I could go on and on. We can share lots of data and stats and participation. But to quote the chancellor, I'm going to keep it rated R. Real and relevant, right? That's how it works. So I want to introduce you to my friend Kathy. Kathy is a sophomore industrial engineering student, and I think her story you'll really appreciate this morning about how she takes advantage of the campus services and programs to really stand up students. She inspires me every day. I get the chance to visit with her nearly every day in our main office as a student employee. She's always got some new accomplishment or something that she's been able to check off the box as she moves her way through school. So, Kathy, if you would, let's hear your story.
I turned it on right. I just want to thank you, Jeremy, for the invitation to share my story, or my U of A story, with not only you, but with everyone in this room. As he said, my name is Kathy Ortiz. I'm a current sophomore in industrial engineering and operations analytics. About 2 months ago, before coming to the U of A, I moved from Virginia. That's long way from home. It was a long road trip, and I didn't know anyone but my family. I still am a first-generation student, so I was honestly very scared and nervous coming to college. At first, it felt like all I could do was go to class and go back to my dorm at Hotz Hall, where I studied and I slept. But I've heard, like we all have, that an important part of the job is showing up. And so that's exactly what I did. I started going to the MC events, and I built connections, my friends, and faculty and staff that helped me get the job, well, my work-study job as student affairs. Yo, the faculty and staff that I've made, they've become my family as well. And they helped me navigate through my academics, challenges, but also life just in general, because it's hard going into the adult world. I'm an engineering student, and many of you probably know almost as well as I do what that means about my experience. It's really hard. My classes are hard, and they're very serious. After my first year, I felt I had to take a summer class in order to keep up. It was a great idea, but it was also an expensive one, which I didn't know at the time. But taking summer classes and having on-campus housing then led me to having a job at UREC. During that time, they were doing renovations, so it was hot and I was tired. However, despite the hard work, I was given the opportunity to be a part of a new program called Career Readiness Associates, which I'm still currently in, and it led me to get valuable leadership, development skills, and career education. It's honestly hard balancing everything. In order to be here, I have to work at least half-time, 20 hours a week, in 2 campus jobs. When I have trouble in classes and talk to faculty, they almost always say they can understand why it's so hard when they hear what I'm trying to balance. Last month, after a really difficult second exam in one of my classes, and after meeting with my academic advisor and my academic coach in the engineering, and talking to my professor, I really had to sit down and reflect, how am I managing my time and my studying habits? And so I talked with one of the student affairs staff, Leslie, and she helped me lay out my daily schedule to find more time for me to study. She looked at my commitments. I'm in class the first 5 hours or so of each weekday, and then I work for several hours plus 1 night a week. I'm the president of a student organization here on campus as well. And as a regular college student, I still have laundry and dishes to do when I get back home. I also go to church on Sundays. She said what my advisor said about my schedule. This is crazy, it's tough, and it looks like a lot. But together, we made a plan to structure my remaining time around studying and working on all of my classes. I've followed through, and it's going pretty well. It's been hard, but it's also been awesome. I've earned scholarships, and I actually earned an internship this summer, which I got at the STEM Career Fair last year. It's the best paying job I've had, and an important next step toward my career goal. I'm building valuable skills in class and in this community. I've had a lot of support and encouragement from people who seem confident in me and what I'm capable of. And most importantly, I never stopped believing in myself. Even though there were times I really wanted to give up, I didn't, and I had to push through, for not just for me, but for everyone that supported me and my family. So I'm glad I got to share my U of A story with you all. Thank you.
Kathy's story is one of hundreds that we could bring up here and the things that we love to do. Later, I want to hear you tell me about presenting to the largest room in people you've ever done before. Great job, kid. One of Kathy's favorite phrases that she said to me is, "I can be me here." That's remarkable for what we do in student affairs and the work that we continue to do. But as the chancellor tells me regularly, we're not done. We have work to continue to do. So a little bit about some of the things that are coming or underway currently. We updated and modernized the Multicultural Center, the Student Engagement Leadership Offices. The campus space study said, you need more student space. You've got to find a way to do this. And so we've started to do that with some of that space. The students have just incredibly activated that space. It's just desperately needed space, and we continue to see new programs come out of those spaces every day. The Hyper Building renovation is ongoing. It's a $23 million renovation that adds roughly 11,000 square feet for students to have space to pursue well-being opportunities. We are working on our housing opportunities for students. Coming soon, fall 28, we'll open a 740-bed facility behind the Poultry Science Building, adding significant beds on campus, hopefully decreasing our master lease opportunities. So all those freshmen that we keep bringing in, Suzanne, we'll keep them on campus, hopefully, instead of in those apartments down the road. But we've also noticed the value in those apartments. As we continue to secure more apartments, we have seen a 22% increase in the number of upperclassmen that we're able to serve. That's important that those students create those opportunities with us instead of landlords in town from their own safety and security. And so we're thrilled to be able to do that and know that we have continued work in that area as well. I mentioned earlier about the programming targeted for second, third, and fourth year and graduate students. We want to continue to find ways to do that through our transition programs and initiatives teams, and also working through post-graduation success opportunities. We have a 92% reported career outcomes rate for our campus. So if you haven't seen or heard yet, it's coming. The First Destination Survey is out there. Encourage your students to partake in that. We want to learn what our students are doing. Our goal is to see that climb from 92% to a 96% reported career outcomes. And what that means, if you're not familiar with it, that means they're doing anything but still seeking something after school. That may be graduate school, that may be volunteer work, that may be a gap year, that may be employment, but we want to see that number climb for our students. We also have a commitment to student jobs, trying to increase wages for students, and definitely targeting work-study students. Brand new program that we have rolling out this fall, and we're in the process of a search right now, is to take our mental health program that currently works out of the Pat Walker Health Center and start to look at an embedded model moving forward. So how can we embed our mental health clinicians within the colleges to directly serve students in the locations that they spend most of their time in? As Kathy mentioned, as an engineering student, it's a demanding program, lots of studying, lots of classes to attend to. We can serve the students better by placing these folks in those academic facilities so that they're readily available to students and staff and faculty as they might need to offer those care in an immediate situation for students. So we're really thrilled about the number of things that we not only have the opportunity to partner with our colleagues here on this panel, but the things that we're working on as well to increase that wraparound support for students. So while we're making progress, we're excited to keep working on these avenues with our partners, support students, and really reach new heights and move the needle toward the 80% graduation rates that Dr. McCrae mentioned, as well as our 96% career outcomes rate. So thank you for the opportunity to share, and I think, Robin, I'll ask you to come up.
Good morning. I'm Robin Ledbetter. I'm the Senior Director of Marketing Communications for the Division of Student Affairs. And there was an opportunity to submit questions for our panelists today, and we have 3. So first up, many students experience barriers to transportation that impedes their ability to attend class, and some students attend classes and labs that aren't located on the main U of A campus that limits their access to educational opportunities and resources. What is the university doing to provide support and resources for these students to reduce the barriers?
I'll be happy to take that, Robin. If you've been around campus, there's lots of studies going on right now. There was a housing study that we did, there's been a parking study and a transit study, and all of these will help start to inform these. But I was able to recently engage with Adam Waddell with Transit, and I don't know if he's in the room, or Clayton might be in the room, but they are actively pursuing ways that we can enhance these systems moving forward. In fact, Robin, I tasked on Friday, or last week, and she had her first meeting Friday, with leading a group that says, how can we trust the bus for our students? And that's an accidental slogan that seemed to come out of things, but we hear regularly from our students those first couple of weeks, the bus just passes me by. Transit is making investments in more buses and new buses to be able to help serve that, and we are actively engaged with Transit to help build up programs and an awareness for students to how to learn how to ride the bus. We run into a lot of staff that don't know how to do it. So some of our staff will need to learn how to ride the bus, check out the schedules. We're going to try to ride buses with students and keep them informed and educated and really develop a campaign about where the bus runs, how it runs, and how it works.
Will the U of A start reporting numbers on students that aren't first-year freshmen, such as transfer students, graduate students, and online students?
I can talk about the transfer students. In my slides, I mentioned that we are hoping every year to bring 1,400 to 1,600 transfer students. One of our programs, the Transfer Achievement Scholarship for our sister schools, has been a very, very important way to support transfer students, so that students who get an associate's degree at a U of A community college can come to the University of Arkansas paying the tuition of their community college. And that has really made the university affordable. It's allowed a lot of students who would not have gotten a 4-year degree to move from that 2-year degree to a 4-year degree. So we are we look very carefully too at the success rate of those students. So we know their retention and graduation rates. From some community colleges, they are lower, and we're working very hard to address that. We have a transfer program with NWAC, Northwest Arkansas Community College, the TAP program, and that really is a program that's designed to help those students who may be not fully prepared to come to the U of A, who need to start at a community college. They start at NWAC, and they do some early preparation while taking a class on our campus, and we have a team in Transfer Central that works with that group. So we talk a lot, it's true, about degree-seeking new freshmen, but we're also very, very concerned about those students who come to us in different ways, either as completers, transfer students, and those kinds of things. And then, of course, graduate students as well.
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about what's going on in the graduate school. As I mentioned earlier, we're working on a graduate enrollment management plan, and part of that is collecting data to enable us to understand what's happening across the graduate landscape. So as part of that, we're in the process of building a strategic dashboard. Suzanne has the strategic dashboard that is enviable, so we're trying to replicate what she has done at the graduate level. And so our team is working on collecting that data this summer and hoping to roll in the fall.
Okay, our last question. What progress has been made in enhancing career readiness for graduates, and how are post-graduation outcomes being tracked?
Well, I mentioned the first destination survey as a way that we track that, and so that is a really important tool for us moving forward. So as we roll that out each semester, we want to see academic colleges embrace that, advisors embrace that, and really encourage their graduating students to do that so that we can track those students, what they're doing post-graduation. That is our one and only opportunity really to capture some of that immediate data upon graduation, so that's a really important tool that we use. Other ways that we continue to try to make students career ready is really through our career ready skills programming that we have. We have a set of 8 competencies that we are looking to embed into faculty syllabus, programming of how we deliver services to students, how we create student employment opportunities on campus, continually working to bring employers to campus to create those connections between future employers and students. As Kathy mentioned, these are great opportunities for students to make those initial connections and have those opportunities afterwards. The other is just enhancing the number of employment opportunities on campus. This is important not only from the financial aspect for students, but those in jobs, if they're designed correctly with those career competencies, will help students develop those tools of what employers are looking for afterwards. And I thought I saw Erica wander in. She's got a whole toolkit that her team is ready to deploy, and we have directors of career initiatives located within the colleges. We have career coaches in the colleges. We're actually adding 2 this summer and fall to that. So we're really amping up staff and resources to arm colleges, units, with the tools that they need to help prepare students.
Thank you, Robin. Let's give our panelists a round of applause. It's always interesting for me to hear the panelists talk about the various areas because I learn something new every time, and it's exciting to see the energy and the collaboration. I think that's one of the themes that you touched on, that we cannot do this in silos. It takes each and every one of us working together to maximize the outcomes for our students. And another theme that matters, and I think you cannot overstate it. Every student matters, every single one, and we have to get to know our students, engage them, figure out what they need, and make sure we meet their needs. And that takes the entire campus community. Kathy, I loved your story, of course, and I love you sharing it with us. But we want to make sure that every student at the University of Arkansas knows that they belong to the U of A family. And that connection will be a connection that will last a lifetime. And so thank you again for your interest in student success. We have a third panel and a third town hall that will take place on April 22nd from 1 to 2, and that will be research excellence. So we look forward to that. So thank you and have a great day.